Still to come on this show, Tony Gwynn in the
attractive to the Mets for what he could bring on the field. As the season started, you had to wonder if the quiet and reserved Ventura could maintain that equilibrium off it in baseball's biggest market. But just like John Olerud at first, Robin has handled the hot corner while keeping his cool demeanor. Robin Ventura would rather be seen than heard. Even though he's having a career season at the plate and a Gold Glove campaign in the field, he still prefers to be just number 4 in your Mets program and not the straw that stirs the drink.
I think I've been this way, you know, when I was in Chicago. I don't know what it is about, you know, that people are saying is the difference, or if it is a difference or not. It feels like it's the same stuff I was doing in Chicago that was the reason why I probably got rid of me.
The big thing that he brings to the club is some leadership in the clubhouse, and he's just a great guy to be around. I mean, he's a lot of fun, good sense of humor, you know, just a real character in the clubhouse.
When he says things, people listen to him. You know, he tends to be somewhat reserved and laid back, so when he does say something, it has an impact in the clubhouse.
We've leaned on him, and he's never broken, and he comes up with the right thing to say and the right thing to do, whether it's on or off the field, day in and day out.
That theory was tested from day one. Ventura's arrival meant the move of Edgardo Alfonso, who finished second in Gold Glove voting at third base in '97, to second base.
This guy is unbelievable. You know, I enjoy it, and I really, he really make people here forget about me. So it's a good thing. And he is a tremendous help for us.
I think the big thing Robin did early on was he called Edgardo and asked him how he felt about moving to second base. And Edgardo kind of gave him the thumbs up on it, said he didn't have any problem with it. He was glad to have Robin on the club or to come to the team. And I think that once that was smoothed over, it made for an easy transition, and Robin has fit in right from the beginning.
Ventura's fit in so well that in addition to being a candidate for the team's most valuable player, he's entered that rarefied air of league MVP. Just don't tell that to him.
You know, I don't know. I think, you know, part of it's not knowing people, so maybe it's just simplifying things. I'm just trying to find the ball and hit it. You know, I don't really have any precedence of what guys, you know, are trying to do or what they've done in the past, and if I had success off somebody or I haven't. It's more just, you know, trying to hit it and hopefully something good happens, really.
He's been phenomenal so far. I mean, he certainly is driving in runs in clutch situations.
And the pitch on the way. High fly ball. He's going to have another one. 2 grand slams in one day for Ventura.
Played tremendous defense for us.
Breaking ball, snagged by Ventura across the diamond. He got him.
And led us when we needed a leader.
I just have fun here, and you know, guys are having fun at the same time.
Well, Robin is a 5-time Gold Glover at third, but he's never won a Silver Slugger award. He certainly vined for that this season. He appears headed to setting career highs in most of the major offensive categories. No Met has more home runs or RBIs this season than Ventura.
Coming up, he won at Watkins.
Weekend. Only the Expos have made more errors than the Pittsburgh Pirates among all of the teams in the major leagues. And now Piazza, and here we go again. We talked before about what everybody's got to be thinking about. When Piazza signed last winter, the idea was get the big hit, hit the big home run, make the big play to make the difference between the Mets going home early and participating in postseason play. He's going to get a chance to do it here, but against a different pitcher. Brad Klontz, a former Met, will come on from the bullpen with the bases loaded. Well, again, a couple of things to keep in mind here. By loading the bases, you create the force at any base, but the only force play that matters is the one at home plate. Klontz is a sidearm. He's going to be tougher on right-handers and more likely to induce a ground ball, which is what the Pirates need here. First pitch, in the dirt, gets away. Mets win. The New York Mets are going to some semblance of postseason play. Cincinnati Reds for the wild card or go straight to Arizona. It depends on what happens in Milwaukee, and who knows when or if they'll even start there today, because the Reds and Brewers are being delayed by rain. But you can't look at John Franco without thinking about the long road that he's had. He came to the Mets in 1990. He's never been involved in postseason play, and technically, a wild card playoff game is not considered a postseason game, but it certainly is an extension of the 162-game regular season, something the Mets have not accomplished since 1988.
Well, this crowd has been looking to jump all day. The place is rocking, and Bobby Valentine is going to take his ball club either to Cincinnati or to Arizona. Well, I'll tell you what, this guy's a pitch a fine ball game along with Chris Benson, but John Franco, 15 years of service in the major leagues.
Matt Loughlin is standing by downstairs with the manager of the New York Mets, Bobby Valentine. Matty, if you can hear me.
Howie Rose, absolute bedlam down on the field. The fans just standing and applauding it. Bobby Valentine pointing right back to the fans, applauding them for their effort. And Bobby, the Mets did what they had to do. 48 hours ago, left for dead. You win 3 in a row, and now you're assured of at least playing another game. What a marvelous comeback for your club.
Greatest guys in the world. I've been saying that all year, and great fans, too. I love to see them come out like this. It's been wonderful, but, you know, that wasn't easy. Benson is tough as hell, and there are going to be tough pitches the rest of the way. It tells us we got one more game, and we'll be ready for that one more game.
We saw you post-game not only congratulating your players, but also whispering to them. It's clear by your words, by your actions, that there's a bond here. This is a very special unit in your eyes.
This is a great group. You know, I can't tell you how much they meant to me. You know, when you talk about support, this is a support system right here, and I tried to give it to them. They gave it to me and gave it to each other, and that's why they call it a team, I guess. They're a great team.
Your faith never wavered down the stretch. Even as those losses mounted, you kept saying you felt good that things were going to go your way. How does it feel now that that faith has been rewarded?
Well, you saw a wild pitch to win a game right there. You know, we got a ball in the sun, and we're due for the breaks. We got a month of breaks, and this is our month. This is October. When that calendar changed, we won 3 in a row. It's a new month.
And now it's on at least for a game tomorrow, if not on to Arizona on Tuesday. Congratulations, Bobby, on a wonderful 1999, which still goes on.
It's a great year, great group of guys. I'll guarantee you that. Thanks.
Bobby Valentine joining us here on the field, Howie Rose. Nice of him to do that. I know he wants to get into that clubhouse and talk some more to his team, but he knows the season goes on. What a moment for the Mets skipper and this club. Back up to you.
Well, it's going to be a long night for Bobby Valentine and the New York Mets right now, because they don't know where they're going other than eventually to a television set and watch Cincinnati at Milwaukee if they ever get going. The game is being delayed by rain. If the Brewers go where the Mets want them to go and beat the Reds, the Mets will head straight to Phoenix and start the division playoffs with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And this is why there's going to be at least one more game.
And Mike Piazza batting with the bases loaded, a wild pitch.
And the party has started.
The only objective tonight is to win. As Vaughn runs, Dimitri Young fouls one down the right field line. Dimitri Young is 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a pop fly to center. Vaughn was running. They're not holding him at first base. We've got Pokey Reese at third and Vaughn at first. This is the 10th time there's been a tiebreaker playoff in the history of Major League Baseball. And up to now, one of the greatest pitching performances ever seen in one of these. And it's caught by Alfonso at second base. And Al Leiter has completed a 2-hit shutout. And it has put the Mets into the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. And this one was Leiter's first complete game of the season. And at long last, the real celebration can begin for the New York Mets.
And, John, we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast that Leiter had been there before. He started Game 7 for the Marlins against the Cleveland Indians in 1997. And the Marlins won that game. And I think tonight, again, he was just on top of his game. He pitched a great ball game, and he was very smart. And, again, the Reds have nothing to hold their heads down about. They just ran into a buzzsaw tonight.
John Franco, more than 15 years in the big leagues, longer than any other current player without ever being in postseason play. That drought has ended. And he and Leiter begin their celebration. The New York Mets, who were dead, it seemed, just 3 days ago, are only the second team in history to be 2 out with only 3 to play and still make it into postseason play, joining the San Francisco Giants of 1962 as the only other one ever to do it.
And they could be the second wild card to win the World Series because they have a good ball club. They've got a good defense. When they get good pitching and they can score some runs, they're as good as any team in baseball. And a nice play there by Alfonso, and now they can let it all hang out.
And fittingly by Alfonso, because he got it all started, driving in the only runs that Leiter would need with a 2-run first inning homer. Just past Leiter, but there was Alfonso. That great Mets infield comes through again. And Al Leiter with an amazing performance in the biggest game of the year. And for Bobby Valentine, they were calling for him to be fired just a week ago in New York. Now his Mets are headed to Phoenix against the big unit tomorrow night. The New York Mets are the wild card champions. Stay tuned now. Baseball Tonight coming up next. They'll take you right back to Cincinnati. John Miller, Joe Morgan. Good night.
We'll hear from the Mets. Certainly hear from Al Leiter. What a heroic performance he came through with tonight. Next up for New York now, Peter, is Arizona, and New York is 2-7 against them. But first, the good news. Only the most bizarre set of circumstances led us to this one-game regular season, get into the playoffs, but this isn't a playoff game setup. 6th time in Major League history such a scenario is played out. Forget home field advantage in this one. The Mets actually were in Cincinnati in bed late last night while the Reds were swimming laps around the Brewers. So, cue the Twilight Zone music. This is the game of the living dead. Both these teams were down, out, and forgotten about. Bobby Valentine fired himself earlier. 1,704 games without a postseason appearance, the most of any active manager. Edgardo Alfonso gives him a lift. Number 27 for Alfonso, 2-0 Mets, 2 batters into the game, and Steve Paris was dazed. 3 batters later, Piazza's at first, Robin Ventura back to Paris, inning-ending double play. So Al Leiter's got himself a 2-love lead, but we know how he struggles in the first. And you know what he did? He walked Pokey Reese, who scares the heck out of him, and so does Greg Vaughn.
Well, Al Leiter did a terrific job, though. Mike Piazza calmed him down here. Here with Greg Vaughn, 3-1, the life on his fastball. Got him to swing at a bad pitch out of the strike zone, and then terrific. Look at this breaking ball. Greg did not expect that, especially in that situation with Al on the ropes. And then, boy, look at that. Jams Dimitri Young. Gets the easy ground ball to first base. I love the way he uses that cutter, gets right-handed hitters like Jeffrey Hammonds to just think, okay, it's coming in money, I'll pull it. Well, unfortunately, they can't keep it fair. Then change up away, great pitch. Al had good command of all 4 pitches he went along. There he throws fastball, runs in on Aaron Boone, pops him up, and I'll tell you, Al was a little hyper. Great job by Piazza.
Got better as the game wore on. Olerud to right off Paris. Edgardo Alfonso in the third. Goes to third. Robin Ventura is on deck. Oh, they walk Piazza to load the bases. Denny Nagel comes in to take Ventura's at bat. And with the bases loaded, ball 4. 3-0 Mets. Meantime, Leiter. We've seen that cutter. Saw some fastball. Here comes that curveball. Pokey Reese. Mano had 2 home runs off a Leiter coming into the game. Goes 1 for 3 with a walk and a meaningless double. Now here's Sean Casey.
Well, Al has had some trouble with left-handers at times, but great breaking ball to Sean Casey. Dominated them tonight. And then Ray Ordonez. What a thing to watch. Ray Ordonez, Alfonso, and Pokey Reese all in one game.
Makes every Met pitcher a lot better. Ricky leaves the yard. Off the foul pole. Ricky Henderson passes Bobby Bonilla on the all-time home run list. And Ricky sort of celebrates. And how about Danny Nagel? In the 6th, 4-0 Mets, Alfonso. See the MVP of this team? This one to the alley and left off Danny Graves. Ordonez scores 5-0 Mets. 3 RBI in the game for Alfonso, who goes 2 for 4. Leiter continues to deal. Barry Larkin. And Larkin didn't think this was strike 3, but he punched him out anyway. And the Mets loaded up the champagne. And Al Leiter continued, trying to get his first complete game of the season. 2 down. And it is game, set, and match as Alfonso comes up with the final out on a heroic pitching performance from the lefty Al Leiter. For the Mets, it was only their 5th complete game this season. Give Leiter all the credit in the world, and certainly the people in the field. Alfonso, Ordonez, Robin Ventura had another great game. So 5-0 the Mets win. Bobby Valentine exercises the ghost. He is live with our Mark Schwartz. Mark?
It is a number that Bobby Valentine has heard probably more than he wants to. 1,000.
I gotta get you.
Wow.
Thank you, brother. You gave it to me all night.
Woo! That was Ricky Henderson, huh?
Who cares about that stuff? Talk about this team. This is a great team. Who cares about that nonsense that people like to write about? You should write about this team. This is a character, a group of characters who have character. They're the greatest group of guys anybody could be around. And hey, Jack McKeon's group was as good, if not even better, than most teams who've ever been in the playoffs. And what a season they had. And just to my coaches and the organization, my players, my friends, my mom and dad, I know you're out there, Bobby and everyone, this is just a start. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Bobby, you've been through so much. The team lost 7 straight games. Everybody counted you out. How were you able, as the leader of this group, to get them back on the right track?
I took it from them. I just stood back and watched. They knew what they were doing. They told me they had it together. I believed it right from the day one. And when they said, just let us make a play or two, and I sat back and watched it, and I appreciated it, and I appreciated it for 97 games so far, and actually for 163. And we'll get over to Arizona, see what's going on.
Obviously, there is that monkey off your back now. You have finally gotten to the postseason, Bobby.
Because of this guy. How about the game Al Leiter? How about Al Leiter? That's what it's all about right there. It's not about getting to my postseason. It's that he wanted it. He wanted it badly. These guys wanted it badly. That's why we're going there. And I'm riding along.
All right, Bobby. Let's talk to Al Leiter. Al, we thought we'd have you as an analyst this year for baseball tonight. We're about to make the call.
Heck, I'm not going.
The call
and
was
Ravi and whoever else is over there, the commissioner.
Tell me about the effort tonight. I mean, the first inning, you had the 2-run lead. You walked the first guy. You gave up a couple of shots. It looked like you might have a rocky outing,
No
but
doubt.
then.
Well, let's face it, any game like this is you feel the emotions and the mind plays a part, and obviously the first batter of the game, walking him wasn't a good idea, but I settled down a little bit. I got Larkin out and just went with it. But once I settled down, I felt like I was able to change speeds a little bit more. I used my curveball, and then we get up 3-0 after the third. And a game like this, I could tell some of those guys were pressing. Vaughn swung at a high curveball, and a couple other pitches where normally maybe perhaps they wouldn't have swung at. I got a little lucky on it.
Casey Vaughn and Young, their 3, 4, 5 guys go 0 for 9. How important was it to get the middle of the order the way you did?
Well, it's important any middle of the order, and obviously I knew what Vaughn was doing of late, and all of them really. Casey Taubensie's been tough. So I think what I did was I sat with Mike before the game, and I said of all the guys, I'm a little more careful with Vaughn.
He was the one guy you couldn't let beat you.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing against Dimitri, but you just feel like if I let Vaughn get away, I have Dimitri, and then I think Hammond down the line. But it's a great team, and it's a real shame that a team with 96 wins has to go home, and it says a lot about that ball club, and they had a heck of a year.
How much did the Reds help you by swinging at some bad pitches?
A lot, especially once I established a strike in a count early on, and then they swing at a bad pitch. It just enables me to relax and loosen up a little bit.
Well, Randy Johnson's next.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be real loose on that ride to Phoenix, and let's have fun with this. This is fun.
All right, Al.
Okay.
Boy, we're going to miss him as an analyst for baseball tonight. I'm telling you, he was good. Mike Piazza on this side of me. Mike, come on this side. We got Mike Piazza, the catcher of the New York Mets. And, Mike, you've been here before with the Dodgers in 2 situations, once against the Reds, once against the Braves. And in both cases, the team was swept. How badly do you want to turn this thing around for yourself as you look ahead to Arizona?
Well, I mean, not just for myself, but for this ball club. I mean, you know, a week ago, it's funny, you know, you read all the papers in New York, and they all had us buried, and, you know, there was no miracles left. And obviously we were very down, and we had a tough streak, but we hung in there. So now, I think our attitude now, everything from here on out is icing on the cake. So we got to play a tough Arizona club tomorrow. Hopefully we just keep it rolling. You know, we don't want to stop to think about it too much right now. Just enjoy this for the moment right now.
Al Leiter did not complete a game all year long, Mike. How was he able to summon it up in game 163?
I can't explain. I think he was obviously jittery early on, as we all were. And I think Fonzie came out, hit the big home run, kind of took the pressure off. And, you know, he was getting ahead of guys, and he was throwing strikes.
Shield me.
ESPN picks up the dry cleaning on this one. But, you know, he just threw a great game. We're very happy. We just had some very good team offense. And, you know, the last week we've been getting back to the things that were successful for us the whole second half. And, you know, that's just something I hope we can continue. That's all.
How much does this mean to Bobby Valentine? Needless to say, he's been reminded of it. 1,704 games without a postseason appearance.
I mean, you know, Bobby's just one of those guys. I really at times feel sorry for him because he really, he wants so bad to win. And sometimes, you know, his emotions kind of take over and he just obviously goes crazy and it may rub people the wrong way. But deep down inside, he just wants to win. And, you know, obviously it's a big monkey off his back as well. And so, again, like I said, we don't have much time to enjoy it, but we're going to enjoy it tonight and hopefully come out swinging tomorrow.
How do you feel physically after 163 games?
Beat up. I mean, you know, I think the toughest thing about it is we kind of put ourselves in this position, you know, when we had that streak and every game is so critical. Ideally, you'd like to have, you know, 4 or 5 days before you start the playoffs to get in there. But you know what? Now, like I said, the attitude is such that we just weren't expected to be here. So now everything from here on out is just, you know, we have that attitude like, you know, we got nothing to lose. I mean, it may not be the case because there was a lot of expectations on this ball club, but you know, that's the way we feel. And before the last weekend, we just said, you know what, let's just have a good weekend, finish strong, and kind of just get that sort of karma, that idea that we didn't finish strong last year off our backs.
All right, Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
Mike Piazza. Ricky Henderson is now going to be joining us, the left fielder of the New York Mets. Ricky, the bat speed's still there after all these years.
The bat speed's still there, you know. It was just a great game for us today, and the biggest thing for us to do is probably just come out there and get a few runs early for Al and let him relax, and he pitched an outstanding ball game for us.
You've been with great teams throughout your career. You've been to the World Series. Does this team that you're on now have the same qualities and characteristics that can let them go deep into the playoffs?
I think this team have the quality to go out there and put us in a great position during the playoffs. So we just got to keep our head up and go out there and play 9 hard innings each and every day, and we got a good chance of winning.
The Cincinnati Reds seemed to be a team that was flat this game. I mean, this team had played so well all year, and they just swung at bad pitches. They really helped Al Leiter a lot tonight. What do you think happened with Cincinnati?
I don't know. You know, they came in late. They had a late game yesterday, and they came in late. And the biggest thing, you know, they was up for the game, but, you know, Al was throwing a good ball game. We got some runs. A lot of time when you put some runs on the board early, you know, it make them a little flat, and Al was throwing a great ball game.
All right, Ricky Henderson with the home run. Moving on to face Randy Johnson.
There you go. Thank you. All right.
Edgar Alfonzo was the hitting star of the game, certainly for the New York Mets. He actually got the game-winning hit early in the first inning. He was the second batter of the ball game, and then produced another RBI double later in the ball game in the 5th in his 3rd at bat. Let's go back to the studios. We'll have Edgar Alfonzo.